Hi everyone, my name is PK and here I've got Chirag with me. Chirag is a student or a client of the Property Investment Accelerator. He's just bought this amazing deal. Let me just go through the deal, by the way, before I even welcome Chirag, because you're gonna watch this one right to the end. So purchase price is $392,000. Asking price was $400,000 plus the bank valuation. I don't know which bank, but the bank valuation, desktop bank valuation was 438,000, I think, 440,000. So this is a under market deal by more than $40,000, almost 50 actually. The rent, 450 a week. So positive cash flow in spades. This is in Perth. So if you still think that you can't buy at the bottom of the market in this current market, we're recording in October 2021, you were wrong. This was right at the bottom of the market where Chirag got this. Wasn't a hugely old property, built in 1991 and 700 square meters, right? So, I mean, tick, 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 positive cash flow, high growth, bought under market. And Chirag is based in Melbourne. He bought this interstate in WA without catching a flight, without using a buyer's agent, just through some pretty fun, pretty interesting data and processes. So before kind of blowing up the sales and marketing world, let me just introduce Chirag and say, thank you so much for first of all, putting your trust in me, secondly, getting a great deal, and thirdly, making time for this.
My pleasure, PK. Thank you for
Um,
having me.
Thank you. So I still remember actually when I talked to you the first time, we had that strategy call. I was actually I don't know if you know this, but I was in my car in the car park of Coles in Sydney because I mistimed some of my meetings. So I took the call in the car park. I don't think you noticed, but you still signed up anyway. So thank you. Thank you for that.
That's a good waiting time, that means.
Yeah. So maybe just, I mean, let's just start from the start. So so you're living in Melbourne with your family. What was your property background or experience before kind of meeting me or before kind of doing this whole thing? What's your background?
Okay, so let me start from my PPR home, how naive we are. I'm sharing my journey. So if the people are looking at my journey, if they can find something, it's beneficial for them. So I don't know, me and my wife, when we started journey here in Australia, we know that we need to have 20% deposit to buy our home, first home. We never knew that 5%, 10% is equal. One of our colleague told us, if you have 5% deposit, you can buy home. I said, are you serious? And then we start looking after 40 or 5 years of landing in Melbourne with the job. Okay, that naive we are. And then we got a Melbourne property, working here very well. That's not an issue. Never think about investment property at all. Nothing, no terminology. I think equity, so many terminology they used like vacancy rate and these and that. I have no idea. And we are not part of it. And we thought maybe this is our home. We were going to finish the debt, whatever we have in next 5, 7, 8 years. That's it. That's sufficient. And after 2 years, and accidentally, my mortgage broker called me, and she said that you want to buy another property. I said, how? I don't have money. How do I buy it? I said, equity. First time, what do you mean by equity? That naive we are. And she said, you got money in your home. I said, how it can be money at my home? I'm paying right now. How can I have money? How can you see? And then she explained to me, it took around 1.5 hours. She explained me every detail about equity, how we can release, which we can do the bank and this. I said, if I get the money, if I get the property, who will pay? I said, it will be rented. Okay, but rent is sufficient? I said, yes, it will be sufficient. No idea about vacancy rate and no idea about rental yield. Okay. And said, okay, we trust them completely. And she introduced us one agent who are based in Adelaide, and we got a property. What's the requirement of the property? It should be near to the city, within that 5-kilometer radius. Home, townhouse, doesn't matter, whatever it may be, it's fine. That's the requirement. And we end up with the good part is that we end up with the home. And then it was everything was based on depreciation schedule. Okay, it was purely based on negative gearing, and that's why we are saving the tax, and we are excited. Whenever we say that we can save the tax, people are getting excited, and I was excited as well. And I have no idea that what will affect on your borrowing capacity, next purchase, nothing, because we just got a property that's sufficient for us, and we never thought about buying second one. We never thought about go for building a large portfolio and something. Just waited. Next in 2019 we did that, and then in 2020, again this 2019 and 2020, when COVID started, and me and my wife was thinking seriously, because we are coming from health professional background, and we are pharmacist by profession and working in pharmaceutical industry. So we thought, maybe is this the right thing we are doing, or is there any safety of financial security is there in the future? And we thought maybe we need to look at the other vehicles what we can achieve, and then property comes in our mind. Just one click on Facebook, that's it. It started. Now then we become very serious, okay? And then I think within 6 or 8 months, I had gone through around eight different books of the property, including the first ever book of the property investment from in Australia is by Anita Bell, which she mentioned all the details about what she did and how she secured the property, what is a tax. And that's very back, I think 1990s I'm talking about. I read all these books and so many different podcasts, including PK's video as well. I spent around more than 600, 700 hours to educate myself, because now we are already late. And the reason for rushing is every day I have to minimum spend 4 hours on the dot, 4 hours. And at the night time, I have to read the books. And that's why we started, because I know already late. And then rather than giving us all the option, we become more confused. And we don't know why. And I'm an avid reader. I like to read. And then I remember one book told that if the knowledge is the power, and that means the in 1990 we have less knowledge about diabetes. Now we have more knowledge. If this is the power, then we should have a medicine for it, right? And we don't. We have more problem now. That means knowledge is not the things we are looking for. And then I realized, okay, I need to have an expert.
Right.
Now the journey is become more difficult, because in the property market, unregulated market, everybody is ready to be mentor. Everybody want to work for you and work by you, everything, but nobody want to work with you. And there we find the struggle. And then I think we started looking at the PK's email started coming up, and I started looking at the videos, and generally it helped me a lot by looking at the customer's video, okay, where I think Bennett, Kshitij, and some of the other people met. So many. I have listened to them. I have watched them multiple times and understand that what actually are. They are normal people. And then I felt, okay, it looks legit and genuine. And that's why I contacted PK. I said, I the first thing is I'll be your student. Don't worry. That's the first thing, because I was really convinced, because I want to go ahead with the property. That's my journey before joining the course.
Amazing. So I think like the takeaways that people should resonate with is you started off like a lot of people start off. You want that depreciation schedule, you want that negative gearing so you can save tax, but then you realize actually it hurts your borrowing capacity, your ability to buy more properties, and that it's actually just a marketing scheme. I don't want to use that word scam, but it's really just an avenue or a tactic to sell you a brand new house and land package or townhouse or whatever it is. So that's the first thing people need to be careful of. And the second thing, actually, this is a learning for me as well, Chirag. I always say knowledge is power, but you've just said knowledge is not power. So that's really interesting, because information is just information. The more information you collect, the more it buries you in confusion and overwhelm. So you really need to cut through that information with, as kind of cliche as it sounds, like a proven way, right? And I know that sounds very cliche, but so I think those are the two takeaways. And that, I mean, you spent 400 hours, 4 hours a day or something, you know, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of diligence. And so, you know, you kind of built your trust somehow in me by watching some client interviews, much like what we're doing right now.
Yes, that's true.
And so can I just ask you the question, because before I hit record, you know, you were saying you want to now buy 2 properties a year. You can actually do that. It's not some sort of fanciful thinking or some sort of dream or wish. It's actually practical for you. What are you trying to achieve from property investment? Property investment is not a flick of a switch. If you want to do it right, it takes some effort, right? It doesn't just come overnight. Why are you doing all this in the first place? Like, what are you trying to get out of investing in properties?
generally before investing, before started PK's course, we just want a property. Okay, we don't know the end result. What you mean by holding the property after 20 years, what it means. Yeah, it's double in value. Yes, it gives cash flow. It says, but what it means to me and for us as a family, we don't know. Now, once it's a PK's course is very great that it covers that part. And then we realize, okay, now we fix the goal that we need a 200K income. Now, to making a 200K income, what I need to do in 2000, let's say 40, I need 200K income, or 2030, we need 200K income. We back calculate, and then we need to know that how many properties we got. This cost is covering that. That's why to achieve to my target, I need to have at least 6 to 8 property in between, depending upon the range and size and depending upon the price. So that's why I'm already acquired some of the properties. So now I have to go aggressively for 2 property in next couple of years, and then I can build my large portfolio, and then it will be cruise control.
Yeah. I mean, it's simple for the simple and complicated for the complicated. Of course, it's easy to say, 6 properties in 6 years or 10 properties in 10 years,
Yes.
but we need to structure that, or structure
Yeah.
your lending, structure a strategy so it's actually possible. That's the most important thing. And so everyone wants to know, right? So you bought over in WA. I always
Yes.
get this question. You're in Victoria. For the large portion of the last year, you guys have been locked down, right? I think it's set the
Yeah.
record in the world or something.
Yes.
So how did you, I mean, I asked this to all my clients just to kind of, hammer it home. How did you buy interstate? I think Perth is 6,000 kilometers away or something like that. How did you build that confidence to buy a $392,000 house without seeing it ever?
This confidence is very easy. In Australia, everything is transparent. Okay, you can get whatever you want by sitting at your home, a click of a button. People are buying car, people are putting so many things, and this is just the normal home what we are talking right now. And for me, it never been a question that if I am very clear from the beginning, if I want to go for large portfolio, it need to be have every state has 2 property, and that I cannot go everywhere. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there is a course is structured such a way that it will help me that and guide me and endeavor me that where I should do and what should I need to do and to get the confidence. Now, for an example, in Perth, how we do, there is not realestate.com.au. There are so many things, different things involved. We did whatever the course suggested, and we find out the property. We find out the property, and then we contacted the property manager who can help us and then navigate us through the whole journey. That means a small thing, even the kitchen door cabinet inside that was broken, she knows that one. Okay, there's that much detail. Even if I go for any property for myself, even in Melbourne, I cannot go that much detail.
Yeah.
They know very well. So it's a thing, find out the expert, work with them, not for you, by you, work with them, understand them, and it will be very easy journey. If it is work for them, by them, it's very hard. Then it's
Yeah.
yelling and telling.
Yeah. And what kind of tips can you give, Chirag? Because it's one thing to say, let's select a suburb based on data. And of course, data is always
Yeah.
more important than even anything I say. And then you use the team. Team is very important. Conveyancer,
Yes.
accountant, mortgage broker,
Yes.
property managers, quantities, all these people, right? To do that due diligence, help you make the right decision. But I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the feedback that I get from people is, look, even a PK, if I can find the suburb, even if I can find the property, I have no confidence in negotiating. You bought a property that was listed for above $400,000. You got it for $392. The valuation's $450. How can you negotiate from halfway around the world or on the other side of Australia? How did you build that confidence, or how did you learn those techniques? Is it something that's rocket science? Is it something that you need to do a PhD in, or can anyone do it?
To be honest, you need to have a qualified degree from NASA for that. Just kidding. No, it's not like that. So simple thing. Let me put you in my shoes. If I go in any job for the first day, it is hard for me to talk with anyone because we don't know. But
Yeah.
after a month, easy. After a year, very easy. And after 5 years, they will know what you say. Same thing in property. When I started, first thing is the value of the property should be known. So there is a one good CMA tools are available in the in the course where it will tell you exactly what is the price of that property. Once I know the price, that means it's easy for me to negotiate because I know the value now. And then also I need to know that how much price structure. That means, let's say this is the one which we got 450, 438 in the bank valuation, and the asking price was 400. Okay, and I know this property is, so that gap tell me that something is missing. Either agent don't know something about it, or maybe the property owner don't know about it, or maybe something wrong with the property. Okay, there are three things. I just communicate it to the agent. What is there? I find out all the details, go through all my questions, whatever suggested, and then find out there is nothing wrong with the property. The reason is that it was very, owner want to sell it rushing. They want to sell not on the second day. If you give them a deal today, they want to sell it. I said, okay, that means yes, there is a scope of negotiation. Straight away by CMA tool, I find out the property right now. If I go, although the 440 valuation is 385 or 390 valuation is there. Okay, I said, okay, 385. I start. And then they said, no, that not that much. It's $15,000 less. And then I said, okay. I said, okay, that's fine. Then my last deal is that I just give them the 2 hours. I said, my last deal is at 392. Okay, and including the Western Australia don't do that one, but I said including all the major and minor things that we find during the inspection of the building and pest, you have to do it. They agree, and we put it in the contract. Within 2 hours, contract is on my hand. I sign it off and straight away give it to them.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. I mean, you even got the repairs, the
Yes.
minor repairs on the house negotiated. I mean, everything was done by email, a few phone calls.
Yes. Yes.
It's not like
Everything
you
is
have to write a fax document, or it's not hard. You don't even have to look the agent in the eye. I know some people oftentimes nervous, they don't really like negotiating. They don't like haggling, but doing that in property is not like that. You're not looking the person in the eye. Everything is done over, basically email. So anyone can do
yeah.
it. All the templates, everything are provided. You did a lot of work. Books, podcasts, 600 hours or 400 hours, whatever. A lot of the questions that I get sometimes, Chirag, is that, can't I just learn all that PK you're offering in the course? Can't I just learn those principles in books? Can't I just scour YouTube and learn this for free? I mean, there's so much free information out there. Why do I have to pay, $5,000-$6,000 to get it in one systematic, structured package? Is that the only value add? What would be your response to that? Someone who thinks that all of this can be gleaned for free online. You're
Okay.
the best person to ask.
Yeah, definitely. I know this question is coming because I like to go in depth in every subject. Okay. Now, just purely what I understand, free course, free things, why they're giving free. And more the things I understand, more the things I learn, it confuses me more. Rather than give me the knowledge has the power which give me the clarity, but knowledge create confusion. That means it either way depending on them. That means they're selling something which I don't know. Behind the back of my mind, I have to again rely on them. That's the first thing. So even I've spent so many hours, even sometimes I have to spend some dollars to get the education. Okay, still not worth it. It's creating more confusion. There is no clarity involved. Once the clarity is involved, that means we know exactly what things need to listen. It's become selective listening, not everything. And then we need to we learn on the journey that what the things we need to take care while we are going on the journey. Because like there are, let's say in the course there are only, let's say 70 or 80 factors, data factors are there, right? There are 50 plus data factor which only comes through the environment of the like-minded people who are the hunting for the property, who knows, who grows, who learn every single day. Because simple thing, today's my routine is 1 hour I always spend on the property. That's it, 1 hour every single day. Still the reason is that I don't want to be wrong, but at the same time I know exactly what to listen for. Now I'm not shaking right now because sometimes interest rate rise. What will happen then? This market crash. What will happen? And you got everything on YouTube like man. No, it won't help until unless and reason behind it. Once I put the big chunks of money, my mind start working. How can I get the value out of it? Without, if there is a free, forget about even the God gives us free gift. we are not value that. But yes, if we earn, if let's say if we sell it for $1, we keep this $1, keep it.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like a free things won't work.
yeah. No, I mean, I always recommend people start with free education, just like you did. You have to know enough to be able to see who you can trust, see if you're the same frequency vibe with someone who you're going to pay money to. But ultimately, you know, if you don't know how to do it yourself, you do need to part with some cash. I understand it's a bit of a leap of faith sometimes. And, you know, that's really why you need to build that trust in that individual or that company or whatever it may be. And the last question I want to ask, Chirag, you know, I have to ask this, you know, um, why not a buyer's agent? You know, I'm always saying, you know, if you don't have any time, not even 2, 3, 4 hours in the week, and if you have zero interest in property, use a buyer's agent. Better to buy property than not buy a property, full stop, even though they're very expensive, take a bit of a punt, all that kind of thing. Um, but if you have time, 3, 4, 5 hours a week, if you have some interest, you can actually do this yourself. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. So tell me your experience of that, Chirag. You know, you've bought one property now through the Property Investment Accelerator. It's, like we said, it's a great deal. Are you confident to buy your next property by yourself on your own, self-sufficient, self-reliant, self-dependent?
What do you think, PK? Don't you think I'm ready to buy anyone, any property, multiple numbers? Right now, I got already a plan. That means right now, exactly I know how much money I need to put it, how much rent should be there, what kind of area should be there, and what should be the probable capital growth should require. That's clarity. I don't think you can find in free education.
Yeah, I mean, this is music to my ears because my mission, and I'm always saying that anyone can do this. Now, you're a pharmacist, you know, you're by virtue of being a pharmacist or a pharmacy background, you're into data. You like to look at numbers. That doesn't mean that you need to be a statistician or a mathematician, but you need to have some interest. You need to be data driven. That's all it takes. And maybe last question, Chirag, you know, before I actually just want to say before that, you know, thank you for making time. And, you know, I'm really happy that you got a great deal. I'm always happy when my clients get a good deal, but especially you, because I think you were really focused. You know, to achieve anything in life, you need discipline and focus. So you were almost like the personification of focus. And that's why you got the deal. You almost made $50,000 on the way in. So I just want to say congratulations. Um, any last words, you know, for someone who's kind of on the fence, who's sort of thinking, you know, this thing's not cheap. The course is expensive. Is it really going to work? It's a lot of money. That money's coming away from my deposit, right? It's not just growing on a tree. What would you say to someone like that who's sort of maybe considering to use a course or a buyer's agent or just really confused? Do you think this thing was worth it?
Okay, I'll tell you my experience and why we did what we did. Okay, people always confuse, even myself, that what do you mean by telling versus teaching versus coaching versus mentorship. Mentorship is a very heavy word, and people take it very lightly. Very means very lightly, because I got so many books, and one of the books, mentorship, it's a life-changing experience you are deal with, and once you feel the trust, it will be very easy. Now, in terms of the course, let's say we are in the phase. Sometimes we say we don't have time. Life itself doesn't have time. That means when I was a teenager, the time was not there. Now if we get married, time is not there. Children, time is not there. When we die, time is not there. It life on the way, it will get time. Now I was focused so much that I want someone to help me, that just if they show me the smallest way, I'll go there. And then I find out PK, and what's the expectation of the joining the course is, if the PK teach me what he can do and same thing I can do, that's all I need, nothing else. That's all I need. And then if I need, I can get help. And that's the best part of it, that if I stuck somewhere that I can't, I just send one email, that's it. Out of this, I think this whole course and this property license, I only sent 2 emails, that's it. Because I know mentorship is a time consuming process if I choose to, or if it is advantageous process if I choose to.
Yeah, you were very respectful like that. I think we had one call and a few exchanges of emails. So And that's the other thing, people often think that, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm lacking confidence, I'm going to need someone to literally hold my hand through every step of the way. It's a very common thing to think at the start, and I'm there to help you, but you yourself will find that you'll be better than you think you will be.
Yes.
And that's, people that are listening, watching, they may disagree with it right now, but the reality is that if you're shown a method that anyone can follow, then actually anyone can follow it. It's not that you're any inferior to anyone else. Anyone can do this.
That's true. That's completely true. If anybody have any doubt, they can contact me. I can give the permission.
and no,
Well,
seriously, I mean, the deal is great. So just to repeat it, purchase price 392,500, bank valuation. This isn't kind of just me making something up. This is a kind of a PDF, a bank valuation, 438, asking price more than 400. Huge, what is it? $48,000 under market value almost. 450 a week in rent. 1991 build, so there's still some depreciation there. 700 square meters, WA, bought interstate, following the data without using a buyer's agent. I mean, it's just classic high performance property investing. If you do have questions, anyone who's watching has questions, leave them below. I mean, I can't speak for Chirag, but I'll definitely answer them. Maybe Chirag on YouTube, on Facebook, you can also jump in and answer them. And the last thing I'll say once again is congratulations. Congratulations. This is a lifetime mentorship. There's a lifetime relationship. So it's not like, I'm just kind of puffing him up and then it's like, thanks for the video. See you later. I'm genuinely here to help going forward as well. And yeah, if you're still watching, thank you so much. On YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and give it a thumbs up. On my Facebook group, there's almost 10,000 people there now. Thank you for watching there if you are, and same on the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Thank you so much. Chirag, anything else that you'd like to say?
See, that property is the only game I can see where we realize after a certain time. That means if I made a mistake now, it realizes at 25 years later. Okay, so that's the scariest part. That's why I joined the PK. Now you are smart enough to understand. I don't need to tell anything about it, so the mistake is costly or what. It's based on your decision.
That's right. That's right. No, 100%. Okay, well, thank you so much, Chirag. I really appreciate you making time on Friday evening, and I hope you come out of lockdown very soon.
Yeah, hoping so best. Thanks, PK. All good.
Thanks so much.